A warm welcome to all our viewers. I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra and you're watching another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. This weekend, South Asia reflects on the passing of a leader who shaped Bangladesh's politics for over 3 decades, Begum Khalida Zia, the country's first woman prime minister, opposition icon, and a central figure in its democratic journey, died in Dhaka at the age of 80. Her death closes a defining chapter in Bangladesh's political history and raises questions about the future of her party, the BNP, and regional politics, including ties with India. Take a look.
Bangladesh's first female Prime Minister Khalida Zia died after a prolonged illness. She had been suffering from multiple health complications including advanced cirrhosis of the liver, diabetes, arthritis and heart problems. A dominant and often polarizing figure, Khalida Zia rose to power in the 1990s, steering Bangladesh back to democracy after years of military rule. Over the decades, her rivalry with her arch political opponent defined the country's turbulent politics. Despite age and illness, Khalida Zia remained politically relevant till the very end. She had earlier indicated her intent to contest elections, the first since a mass uprising reshaped Bangladesh's political landscape. Her death now leaves a leadership vacuum within the BNP even as her supporters remember her resilience and determination amid controversy and confrontation.
It's a great loss for BNP, for our democratic values loving people. But I know that our people will learn from her life, and so they will advance, and so they will be encouraged from her very fighting life.
I think certainly she will be remembered as Bangladesh's first lady prime minister. I think the BNP, the legacy of the BNP, which was founded by her husband, President Ziaur Rahman, she carried on that legacy. She didn't let the BNP collapse, and she came in first as an ordinary member, then as vice chairman, then she became the head of BNP. And she's carried on the tradition, and now her son has taken over the baton. But in terms of politics, I think the situation has already been factored in, because it was known for a long time that at one point it was thought that she might be well enough to contest the elections, and then she might even become prime minister again. That was being talked about at one time because Tariq Rahman was not being allowed to come back to Dhaka. But I think the moment she fell, the latest bout of illness, the moment she fell ill, it was very clear that she would not be able to do much more, and so I think she has just passed away as a leader, and she will be remembered as a leader.
Khalida Zia's political legacy also shaped Bangladesh's foreign policy, particularly its complex relationship with India. While ties saw moments of tension during her tenures, there was also engagement, dialogue and regional cooperation. Her meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2015 marked one such moment, reflecting mutual recognition despite political differences. Prime Minister Modi has expressed condolences, saying he hoped her vision and legacy would continue to guide India and Bangladesh relations.
Prime Minister Modi and Begum Zia had met in 2015 when Prime Minister Modi's first visit to Bangladesh. And throughout all her tenures, Begum Khalida Zia played a very significant role in enhancing Bangladesh's international profile, whether it was in terms of bolstering regional cooperation through SAARC or building ties with other countries, building ties with the Southeast Asian region, for instance, with her Look East policy. She was a leader who believed that Bangladesh must get her rightful place in the international system. We must remember here that it was in her first tenure in 1991 when she became Prime Minister, after a prolonged period of military rule when democracy returned to the country.
As Bangladesh looks ahead, Khalida Zia's passing invites reflection on her role in restoring democracy, her stewardship of the BNP, and her impact on regional politics. Yet Khalida Zia's legacy remains deeply contested. Critics argue that her years in power intensified political polarization, weakened institutions, and entrenched confrontational politics that continue to haunt Bangladesh today. Her leadership style, marked by street politics and prolonged standoffs, often stalled governance and reform. Loved by supporters and questioned by critics, Begum Khalida Zia leaves behind a legacy that continues to divide opinion, a reminder that in Bangladesh's turbulent politics, even history's most powerful leaders are remembered through both achievement and controversy.
India has received a significant diplomatic boost on the global stage. Argentina has openly supported India's long-standing demand for a permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council, calling it justified and in tune with present-day global realities. The endorsement comes at a time when bilateral relations between India and Argentina are witnessing steady growth across multiple sectors, including trade, energy, mining, defense, and food security.
India and Argentina, the two vibrant democracies separated by two oceans, irrespective of the direction one takes, are bound by shared values, mutual respect, understanding, and respect for rule of law. The two friendly countries have enjoyed cohesive and strong relations spread across wide spectrum of sectors which have deepened over decades. The multifaceted relations between the two countries have strengthened over the years with constructive cooperation and engagements in political, economic, defense, mining, agriculture, oil and gas, nuclear energy, cultural, and scientific and technological areas. In a major diplomatic endorsement, Argentina has extended clear support to India's bid for permanent membership of the United Nations Security Council, an aspiration New Delhi has long argued reflects contemporary global realities.
When the UN was created in 1945, 8 decades ago, the UN Security Council at that time reflect the type of world order that emerged from the Second World War, and that was reasonable at that time. But 8 decades have passed. 80 years is a lot of time, and world order is always evolving. No? So at this, the current situation, it is obvious that the UN Security Council doesn't represent exactly the type of world order we're having now. There are some large countries with huge populations that are not represented there. So I think India's aspiration is understandable, and we think it's correct.
Argentina's support adds momentum to India's push for long-pending reforms of the UN Security Council. As one of the world's fastest-growing major economies and the most populous nation, India has repeatedly argued that global institutions must reflect current geopolitical and economic realities. Beyond diplomacy, the partnership between India and Argentina is also gaining economic depth, with India emerging as the world's fourth largest economy and poised to become the third by the end of the decade. Cooperation between the two nations is expected to expand significantly.
I think it will continue growing since India is becoming a more and more important country in the world. India has become the fourth largest economy, or going to become the third soon at the end of the decade. So it is going to be more important for us and I think for almost all countries in the world. In case of Argentina, we hope we can continue the cooperation in food security, we can expand to energy security, and we can expand in mining, as you are already investing in Argentina, in lithium, for example, in some provinces or states in the north of Argentina. So I think it could be a positive year, as it was this year. So, you know, Argentina and India have been enjoying 75 years of friendship, of relationship.
Cooperation in critical sectors such as lithium mining, essential for electric vehicles and renewable energy, has become a key pillar of the partnership. Indian investments in Argentina's mineral-rich northern provinces underline the growing strategic convergence between the two nations. As India and Argentina mark 75 years of diplomatic relations, both sides see immense potential to elevate the partnership further, anchored in shared democratic values, economic complementarities, and a common vision for global governance reform.
Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent.
Iran's parliament speaker said Tehran had the right to defend itself and warned that its future actions could be unexpected after US President Donald Trump warned that the United States could support another major strike on Iran if it resumed rebuilding its ballistic missile or nuclear weapons programs. Trump had threatened Iran with military action over its missile and nuclear activities, stressing the need for vigilance while urging talks amid Tehran's economic and political turmoil. Thousands of people descended upon Tokyo's iconic Meiji Shrine on January 1st to offer prayers for the New Year 2026, marking the start of one of Japan's most important public holidays. The New Year was widely observed across the country as large crowds flocked to shrines and temples to take part in traditional first prayers of the year. Visitors offered coins, rang bells, and prayed for good health, happiness, and prosperity, continuing a long-standing custom that draws millions of worshippers annually. North Korea's state-run television released nearly an hour of footage showing leader Kim Jong-un attending New Year's celebration in Pyongyang, which featured fireworks, a countdown, and performances of patriotic songs and dances. Kim's daughter, whom some analysts viewed as potential successor, accompanied him during the celebrations.
Moving on. In Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, democratic governance is largely symbolic, with Islamabad tightly controlling political structures and local representation. Widespread frustration is evident as nationalist parties voice anger over the altered political setup. Despite its abundant natural resources, POJK continues to face severe shortages of electricity, water, and basic facilities, highlighting a glaring disconnect between those in power and the everyday needs of the people. Take a look.
For decades, Pakistan has claimed that the people of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir enjoy self-rule. However, voices from within the region tell a very different story. Political structures in POJK function under strict supervision from Islamabad, leaving elected institutions powerless. Nationalist leaders allege that Pakistan has deliberately weakened local governance to maintain absolute control over the region. Despite POJK's vast natural resources, rivers, forests, and hydropower potential, the local population continues to suffer from electricity shortages, lack of clean water, and crumbling basic infrastructure.
In so-called Azad Kashmir, politically become ineffective, while establishment is very powerful. All those political parties who have right to participate in the elections, they have no any say, because Pakistan, POJK in Gilgit-Baltistan is ruled by 4 powerful land officers. This land, which is known as Azad Kashmir, used as a proxy land, as a launching pad, and there is a huge terrorist infrastructure in these areas. So I can say that the people of POJK and Gilgit-Baltistan is facing worse kind of intimidations and facing discrimination on the basis of ethnicity. Constitutionally, we have no right to appear in any court. The people of this area is only the mercy of the deep state.
These allegations strike at the very core of Pakistan's narrative on Kashmir. POJK and Gilgit-Baltistan may be called regions, but they function as territories illegally controlled through coercion, surveillance, and military oversight. Legal rights remain severely restricted, and residents lack constitutional protection to challenge state actions in courts. Pakistan's deep state dominates political life through intimidation, arbitrary restrictions on movement, and constant monitoring of dissent. economic neglect has further deepened the crisis. With minimal employment opportunities and deliberate underdevelopment, POJK has been reduced to a labor exporting region even as its natural resources are exploited for Pakistan's benefit. The repression extends beyond borders. Those working abroad who criticize Pakistan on social media face travel bans, offloading, job losses, and blacklisting.
In the Gilgit-Baltistan, all political activists, leaders, is actually booked in Schedule 4th, and they are not allowed to prior permissions move any area of Gilgit-Baltistan or come out. And in POJK, 400, above 400 people name is in the control list, and majority when try to go abroad because in POJK there is no any kind of facilities where the people can get the job. So majority living in the Middle East, Gulf states. But now, if on the social media they say anything against the wrongdoing of Pakistan, now they are offloads and they are not allowed to go to their own duties.
What emerges is a disturbing picture of a region under tight control, where democratic rights are curtailed, dissent is criminalized, and entire communities live under constant pressure from Pakistan's security establishment. Far from the image of Azad or free governance promoted by Islamabad, Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir appears trapped in a system of political domination, economic exploitation, and institutional repression.
The world welcomed the new year with grand celebrations as millions came together to say goodbye to the past and step into 2026 with hope. From spectacular fireworks lighting up major global cities to prayers and pilgrimages across India, the new year began with a mix of celebrations and faith. As festivities unfolded worldwide, India welcomed 2026 with devotion, reflection, and hope for peace, prosperity, and progress. Take a look.
A new year, a new beginning, and across the globe, celebrations reflected that spirit. As midnight struck, iconic skylines came alive. Fireworks lit up the skies over Sydney Harbour, Dubai's Burj Khalifa, London's Thames, and New York's Times Square, where thousands gathered despite the cold to count down to 2026. While the world celebrated with lights and music, India welcomed the new year with devotion, prayer, and spiritual resolve. In Ayodhya, the spiritual heart of millions, faith took center stage. Long queues of devotees were seen outside the Ram Janmabhoomi temple as pilgrims waited patiently in the chilly winter morning to offer prayers on the first day of the new year.
हमारी तैयारी तो बहुत पहले से ही थी आने की, लेकिन आज आए हैं तो बहुत अच्छे दर्शन हुए। हमारे दर्शन भी हुए, आरती भी हमने की। एक दिन पहले यहाँ पर आरती के पासेस मिलते हैं और मैनेजमेंट बहुत अच्छा है यहाँ का, एकदम शांति प्रिय। हमारे दर्शन हुए, बहुत शांति से हमने दर्शन किए, आरती अटेंड की, और हर किसी को आना ही चाहिए। अभी जो न्यू ईयर है तो इधर आना ही चाहिए लोग।
I came here when inauguration happened 2 years ago when Modi ji came. Next day I was here, but my family was not there, and they are excited to be here as a part of the new year.
From the sacred corridors of Mahakal in Ujjain to the holy confluence at Prayagraj Sangam, devotion marked the new year across India. Beyond places of worship, the new year was also a time for travel, reunion, and celebration with family and friends. Across the country, people stepped out to welcome 2026 in their own way. In Odisha, large crowds gathered at Puri beach to witness the first sunrise of the new year, a moment believed to bring positivity and good fortune.
Actually, I'm really excited for the new year because honestly, the last year has been very dramatic as well as very nice for me. Matlab, it has taught me a lot of things. Like, it has changed me from inside out. I became more calmer. And this is my first visit to a beach. So I feel really happy and excited to start this new journey of 2026. And apart from that, I see a lot of crowd over here, and I feel that all of us are having a lot of fun because it's one of the best moments. Like on the 1st of January, you are seeing the sunrise, and I'm also making a house here in sand.
As the first sunrise of 2026 lit up the horizon, it carried with it a renewed sense of hope and optimism. From vibrant city celebrations to sacred prayers and quiet moments of reflection, the new year began with shared emotions of gratitude, faith, and aspiration. Across cultures and continents, the world stepped into 2026, united by the promise of new beginnings and a collective hope for peace, progress, and prosperity.
As the world steps into 2026, hope and optimism fill the air. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.